Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to discuss about the landforms which are created by deposition and erosion activities of glaciers. The first question is, how are glaciers born or how are they formed? So glaciers require two conditions. One is low temperatures and the other is sufficient rainfall. Snow falls on the high peaks of mountains as well as on plateaus in the winter months, and in the next summer they melt. Again, new snow falls on top of the older snow, and this is called as snowfield. This is how snowfields are created. So, the snow that has already fallen gradually is transformed into ice. And the first change when the snowflakes turn into very minute ice is called as neve or firn. They are basically crystallized forms of ice. So when ice is crystallized and then recrystallized and it forms a massive piece of mass which can move very slowly, it's a huge mass which is created by ice, and this is called as glacier. Snowfields are found above the snow line. Snow line is a line on the high mountains above which there is a permanent layer of snow which does not even melt in the summer months. Therefore, the snowfields are found above the snow line. Snowfields are always found in high altitudes. Most of the continents, or almost all the continents, have got snowfields except Australia. Australia does not have any snowfield. Now let's talk about the landforms which are created by glaciation. The first of its kind is called as Cory or cirque, which is basically a very deep and hollow depression which is surrounded by very steep headed walls. It basically looks like an armchair which has got steep walls, and in between there is a depression which is filled with ice. This is a very spectacular feature which is found mostly in the Swiss Alps and the Rocky Mountains. Sometimes this water melts and it forms a Cory lake or a tarn. So therefore, cirques which has got lakes add to the beauty of the mountain scenery. Another important feature of the glacial erosion are arids. Arids are narrow, knife-like mountain ridges. They are very sharp, they have got sharp peaks, and they are formed by erosion. They are basically formed when two or more cirques adjoin each other, and there is a glacial valley in between. Such an arid can also form a pyramidical peak or a horn, like for example in Matterhorn, which is in Switzerland. It's a spectacular feature and it has been formed by glacial action. So there is a horn which is a massive mountain peak. It's also a place of great tourist attraction. The next type of landform which is created by glaciers are truncated spurs or interlocking spurs. They are very edgy and sharp peaks which have got V-shaped valleys, and these V-shaped valleys they interlock with each other or they intervene into each other. Truncated spurs always have got blunted edges or very sharp edges, and these interlocking valleys are always filled with ice or glaciers. Another type of landform which is created by the erosional activity of glaciers are called as ribbon lakes. They are in the shape of a ribbon. They are very long and narrow lakes. So this type of lake is caused by the erosional activity of the glaciers. When the glaciers they deepen the beds, and the glacier when they melt they form the lake. A glacier valley is called as a cirque. A cirque is a U-shaped valley which is filled with ice. U-shaped, unlike a river valley. River valleys are mostly V-shaped, but glaciated valleys are U-shaped because a glacier erodes at the bottom as well as on the sides. So let's talk about glacial deposits. What are the rocks and materials that the glaciers deposit? So glaciers transport huge amounts of rock material on the surface and drags it to its bottom. and this particular rock material is called as moraine. Moraines are all the material which is gathered by a glacier and is transported and deposited. When the moraines are settled along the sides of a glacier, it is called as lateral moraine. And when fragments of rocks and boulders and materials are dragged by the glacier and then settled on the surface or on the ground, it is called as ground moraine. This is the end of the glacier where the ice usually melts. Till now, we were discussing about the erosional landforms which were created by glaciers. Now, we will be talking about the depositional landforms which are created by glaciers. All the material which the glacier has been carrying all along, they deposit and they also form certain landforms. One of such kind of landforms that we are discussing is called as a drumlin. A drumlin is a mound or a heap of glacial deposits which the glacier had been carrying all along. So a drumlin is a depositional feature of a glacier. It is like a half egg, or maybe it is also called as an oval shaped landform. In Ireland, such regions of much bog and marshy land, they are used as sites for villages. Eskers are wide ridges of sands and gravel. They are deposited by streams of melted water. They look like embankments which are on both the sides of railway tracks. In Finland, railways as well as roadways are also constructed on such eskers.